State of the Saints podcast, and the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Over 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs. For those that love the Lawnmower 3.0, well, I got news for you. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all through additional guards lengths, sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish, even features a hot foil stamp, black chrome Manscaped logo. Show your mower off loud and proud. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? And what's going on, sports fans? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. I am the host of the State of the Saints. And thank you to all those that are checking out the State of the Game podcast. That's right, Who Dat Nation. We're also live right now on the State of the Game podcast because not only are we going to be talking about Saints news, we're going to be talking about sports news in general when it comes to the NFL. But I want to say thank you all for checking out both podcasts. Really do appreciate it. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat. Really do appreciate that. We're going to be talking a little bit about, Sean Payton. All right. We're going to be talking about Sean Payton, and we're going to be talking about is his play calling becoming a little bit of an issue. Okay. And we're also going to be talking about other Saints news as well as some other sports news like the discuss, I feel, when it comes to the black quarterback. Yes, we will be talking about the black quarterback on this episode as well. But shout out to the chat. Feel free to ask any questions or make any comments that you would like. Also, you can donate to the State of the Saints podcast through Super Chats. Also, you can donate through $ State of Saints on Cash App. That's $ State of Saints. But let's go ahead and talk about this, man. Let's talk about Sean Payton. All right, let's talk about Sean Payton. As we all know, Sean Payton, really successful coach, really good offensive innovator, really good play caller. But there's been a lot of scrutiny going on in the last couple of weeks about Sean Payton. They've been talking about Sean Payton and his conservative play calling. Some people think that he does not trust Jameis Winston. Other people feel like he loves himself some Taysom Hill so much that he is willing to put himself out there to make Taysom Hill look good. Some people say that he just does not have the weapons in order for him to open up the plethora of plays that he actually has in his tool belt. But regardless to where you stand, there is an issue with the New Orleans Saints. So the offense of the New Orleans Saints is as vanilla as ice cream. I mean, it is boring. It puts you to sleep. Now, I fall under the category of if it's working, I don't care. Okay, just win the game. All right. We all know that the Saints are pretty handcuffed right now. They're handcuffs. They don't really have too much going on right now. You know, you got Michael Thomas, Traquan Smith, you got Eric McCoy, you got Teron Armstead, Will Lutz, all these guys that are on IR, hurt. They're supposed to be coming back in the next couple weeks. So I don't really care as long as they win. But I do feel like this whole Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill experiment is laughable. Okay, first off, I don't want anybody to think that I hate Taysom Hill or dislike Taysom Hill. For what Taysom Hill is to this team is valuable. It is extremely valuable. The fact that he can run in between the tackles, the fact that he can actually pull guys like he's going Marshawn Lynch on them into the end zone, the fact that we can count on him to get 1 and 2 yards, that's cool. Okay, even if you need him to throw a short pass 5 to 10 yards, that's cool. But the ridiculousness of what I seen last week versus the Giants, Lord have mercy. That was absolutely ridiculous. First off, Jameis Winston was cooking. All right. Jameis Winston, I think at one time he completed like 12 consecutive passes. 12. Which tells me that he's finding a field. I mean, he is dialing, he is cooking, he is finding guys wide open. He is doing everything that he has to make sure that the guys are really being put in place to succeed. It seems like they're finally gelling. It seems like he's comfortable rolling around the pocket. It seems like he's reading between his progressions. And he also threw a couple passes downfield. And I'm saying that to say this, folks. Taysom Hill comes into the game after Jameis Winston connects with Kenny Stills. Even though the play was called back because of Adam Troutman, who has been playing like absolute slaw, by the way, he gets a holding call. But nevertheless, Jameis Winston throws the ball down the field to Kenny Stills for a touchdown. Now, you would think that, okay, this guy's cooking, man. Like, man, we really got it going, man. Jameis finding it. He's in the zone. But what does Sean Payton do? What does he do? He puts in Taysom Hill to throw a pass down the field to Deontay Harris. And look, folks, Taysom Hill does not belong throwing the ball down the field at all. All right? Look, if it's the process of elimination, let's talk about when Drew Brees was there. When Drew Brees was there, I can understand because Drew Brees was limited. Drew Brees was hurt. Drew Brees didn't have the arm strength he once had when he was in his youth and when he was in his prime. So I can understand who has the stronger arm, Taysom. But when you have a guy that can get the ball down the field, not only get the ball down the field in Jameis Winston, but on a freaking rope, why in the world are you trying to come up with these gimmicky downfield passes when Jameis Winston on 2 separate occasions has shown you that he can place the ball where it needs to be down the field? Is just asinine and quizzical to me, okay? And for all those people that are Taysom Hill supporters and saying, oh, well, TJ, you know, you always got a problem with Taysom Hill. Look, this is not. I want everybody to understand this. What I'm about to show you, some of you probably already seen, but for those that didn't, I want to make sure I'm making this perfectly clear. This is not a shot at Taysom Hill, what I'm about to show you. What I'm about to show you is the reason why we need to go with Jameis Winston for downfield shots versus Taysom Hill. Once again, some of you probably seen this. Some of you probably didn't. But I want you to objectively remove your love and your admiration for Taysom. Move your love and your admiration for Jameis. And y'all tell me, what the hell is wrong with this situation? Check this out.
3 receivers, including Drew Brees, to the top of the screen. Got him. And Hill with a big arm, deep downfield, underthrows it a little bit. A flag is thrown, and that's Thomas coming back to make the catch.
2nd and 6. Winston will load up and throw it down the middle of the field. There is heavy contact on Callaway.
Represent everything we want in a football player around here.
Hill loading up, lofting deep, going down there for heads. Caught!
Winston under pressure, throwing for Callaway. It is caught. Touchdown.
Felt the play under.
It's a fake. Hill's got it. Looking to throw. Taysom Hill going for it all. Incomplete.
On 2nd down, aired out, Deontay Harris. He's got it. Touchdown. Another for Winston.
Off the fake to Kamara. Winston with time. Fires downfield. And the catch is made by Marquez Callaway. Fake toss. Winston has completed 10 in a row. Looking to make it 11. He does.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Taysom Hill back in, takes the snap on first down and 20. Hill going deep. Looking for Deontay Harris. It's intercepted.
Boy, if you don't.
I mean, come on, man. Like, let's be serious about this. Now, for all those idiots out there, and I'm calling you idiots because it's idiotic that you're saying this. Anybody that thinks that Sean Payton needs to get fired, first off, stop with the wake and bake, all right? Or stop snorting or whatever the heck you're doing out there because you're out of your damn mind. Sean Payton is definitely the right coach that this team needs. Okay, this is not a bash. This is not a bashing of Sean Payton because, to be quite honest with you, with the limitations that the Saints actually have right now offensively, any coach is not going to be able to coach through this situation right here. You give a good percentage, I say about 67% of the coaches in the NFL, this roster right now, I guarantee you they would not be 2-2 right now. And they probably wouldn't have won some of the games that they won. So I'm going to say that right now. Some of you are just spoiled as hell, and y'all just think all of a sudden, oh, man, getting rid of Sean Payton is the answer. Man, y'all crazy. Like, y'all out of your damn mind. Anybody out here that's talking about getting rid of Sean Payton, you're dumb. Okay? Nobody is better for the job than Sean Payton. But I will say this. This Taysom Hill experiment, throwing the ball down the field, needs to come to an end. It needs to come to an end. It needs to exit stage left. Now, I am going to call BS on Sean Payton. Yes, that's right. I am going to call BS on Sean Payton. On social media, Jeff Duncan, a beat writer for the New Orleans Saints, came out and said that Sean Payton said that Taysom Hill stubbed his toe. And that is the reason why he wasn't able to get the ball down the field. Now, I showed you at least about 4 different instances where Taysom Hill threw the ball down the field, and 9 times out of 10, all those passes were short. Now, I could have went further, right? Some people will probably say, well, TJ, I didn't see the pass from the Minnesota Vikings wildcard game in there. You know what? I could have showed you that play. As a matter of fact, let me see if I actually have that play. I don't know if I actually have that play, but if you go back and look, I don't have it, folks. But if you go back and look, you will see that Deontay Harris was in behind the secondary. And he had to literally turn his body around to catch the ball with his chest to fall back. It was not in stride. I could easily have shown you the game in 2018 when the Saints played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was the same thing. The pass was short, and it was intercepted in the back of the end zone. I say that to say this, folks. Sometimes it's not about favoritism. It's about actuality. And in actuality, Jameis Winston is the best fit. I cannot accept the fact that Taysom Hill stubbed his toe, because if that's the case, then maybe he's Kunta Kinte because he don't even have a foot the way that he's throwing the ball. And I'm not trying to say that to be insensitive. I want you all to understand that, because every single play I've seen coming from Taysom Hill has been short down the field. The dude does not have a big arm. All of his passing, for the most part, rather they look like punts or they're short. It is what it is. Jameis Winston is a guy who can get the ball down the field. And I don't understand why you have to be so damn gimmicky all the time. It don't even have to be that way. You don't have to bring in Taysom Hill to throw a ball down the field. If Jameis can still put the ball down the field and get the ball into the hands of the defender, of the receiver. That's just what it is. Like, I guarantee you, I guarantee you that if Jameis Winston threw that pass to Deontay Harris, it would have been caught, or it would have been a good defensive play by the defensive back. But he was behind the cornerback. So I feel like Jameis Winston, with his arm ability, he would have got the ball down the field. Now, I know I played football. I played the game. I understand what Sean Payton was trying to do. But once again, this is one of those situations where he overthinks himself. Now he's thinking about Taysom Hill coming into the game, right? So if you have two safeties high, right? You got two safeties. Because you have yourself a running quarterback, they have to cheat up. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to look in the backfield to respect Taysom Hill's running ability. But still, man, why are you trying to do these type of things? It's not like Jameis on the last play underthrew the pass or overthrew the pass. He threw the pass on the money to Kenny Stills. It was just called back on a penalty. So why in the world would you parade Taysom Hill out there and kill all the freaking momentum in the room? Seriously, all the freaking momentum. I was hearing people talking about the Superdome, how it wasn't as loud as it once was, but you finally got the Superdome for the most part rocking and people getting excited because they're seeing deep passes down the field and they see the Saints moving the football and they seeing all this different type of excitement and they see Jameis Winston cooking, and then all of a sudden you parade Taysom Hill out there with his punting self, throws the ball in the air like he playing pitch up tackle at your local park. All I'm saying is all of these plays don't necessarily need to be rocket science. Okay, sometimes you got to trust your players in order to put them in a position to succeed. You have to be able to execute. You have to believe that your players can execute. And if they're not executing, you find other players. The Saints really, in my honest and humble opinion, cause more problems on themselves overthinking situations, coach, than they do. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to fully trust their team. Like literally. You go back to watch some of these playoff games. You go back and watch some of these big-time games where the Saints were in a dogfight with the Rams, with the 49ers. It was always Sean Payton overthinking himself in crucial situations. Some things don't even have to be that complicated. You have to trust your team to execute. You put this team together. You constructed these guys to be a part of the team. Why not go out there and trust these guys? Why go out here and try to come up with these ridiculous plays? You're cooking, right? 5 yards here, 5 yards there, first down. 7 yards here, 3 yards here, first down. All of a sudden, here come a triple reverse for a loss of 5. Like, what the hell is going on? What are we doing? What are we doing here? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't fix it. Seriously. That's all I'm saying, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. At the goal line. All right? At the goal line. Look, Taysom Hill scored. I completely understand that. And it was extremely impressive, the power that guy has. But when you have a quarterback who is over 80% in the red zone, you know what I'm saying? 80% in the red zone in 2021. You know what I'm saying? At a high percentage throughout his entire career in the red zone. That means, you know what I'm saying? I say over 70% of the time when Jameis is in the red zone, you're going to get points out of that, most likely touchdowns. Why in the world are you letting this dude get you down the field? He showed that he can throw the ball into the end zone by giving it to Juwan Johnson. Why are you trying to do these things? Why are you trying to, you know what I'm saying, parade, you know what I'm saying, Taysom Hill out here in situations when Jameis is freaking cooking? And then all it's doing is just throwing off the momentum. It's throwing off the momentum. It's throwing off the flow of the game. It just does not make sense to me, man. I'm sorry. It does not make sense. And some people, you know what I'm saying, would be afraid to, man, I ain't afraid to criticize nobody. It is what it is. You can say I'm way out in left field. TJ, you wrong. Bump all that, man. You got to call it for what it is. A lot of the times the Saints put these things on themselves. There's a lot of times where the play calling, just people just overthinking themselves, making it, you know what I'm saying, bigger than what it actually is. And it's causing, you know what I'm saying, it's causing problems. Now, we can talk about the defense all day. We can get to them. But all I'm saying is you have to be 100%. Like, Jameis was cooking in this last game. And honestly, being quite honest with you, I don't understand why Taysom Hill was in the game at that particular point. Maybe somebody can help me out with that. But after you seen your quarterback cooking and throwing the ball down the field, and it wasn't his fault that the play was called back. So you called the play, he executed it to his full capacity. And then how do you reward him for that? Nah, let's bring the other quarterback in, let him throw the ball down the field. Knock it off. I'll read some of your comments, man. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments that you have. I'll go with Dill. Dill says that 49ers game was out on Dennis Allen. You can't win a game if Garoppolo scores 48 points on you. Look, all I'm saying is this, okay? The defense wasn't where it was as of right now, okay? The offensive play calling and the execution was, was absolutely, was absolutely great in that game. You know what I'm saying? I think Garrett Cook leaving that game with a concussion, it played a huge role. But it was just certain plays like the fake punt. I mean, come on, man. That was, I don't know what the heck that was. Honestly, it seemed like for somebody that did not know the rules, that's what that seemed like that execution was about, because they felt like, okay, the cornerback back was turned, but you're not realizing that if a team is, if it's supposed to be a punt, then, like, and if the defender's back is turned, he can't be called for pass interference because they're actually fighting for position and jockeying for position to get down the field. So, of course, he does, if the gunner is actually going up against, the guy that's running down the field, he's pushing him out of bounds. Of course, he doesn't know if the ball is being punt or being thrown. That's almost up there with that play with the Falcons against the Cowboys last season when they just allowed the ball to spin around and around and around and around instead of them picking the ball up like a bunch of idiots. Like, I just felt like that was one of those plays where you probably didn't know the rules and you probably felt that you're probably going to get a pass interference play because, and 9 times out of 10, if a defender's back is turned, then most likely they're going to call pass interference, but you didn't realize it was special teams. So stuff like that. I'm going to be at the game. This is a must win for both teams. So it's going to be a hard fought game. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard fought game. The Washington football team and New Orleans Saints, when they get together, it's always a classic. It's always a classic. I can remember Drew Brees ushering a comeback a couple years ago and 5 minutes left. I can remember, the Robert Meacham, rip pass, back for a touchdown. I remember when RG3 lit the Saints up in the Superdome. I mean, they have always been classic. Even, Drew Brees, getting that passing record. He did it against the football team. So there's a lot of great moments between the Saints and the Washington football team. Why punt on 4th down when you got 4th and inches or a short or 1 or 2, and you got running backs like Kamara, Hill, Armour, or Winston to go for it, keep that drive going? That would be the dagger there. Yeah, I mean, look, it depends on field position. It depends on field position. But I do agree with you, Jerry. The object of the game is winning, and you have to have a pulse on the game. You have to have a pulse on the game. You have to understand, okay, my defense is struggling. They're picking on the rookie Pulse and the Debo. They seem like they're really finding their rhythm because, make no mistake about it, the Saints lost this game because they were outcoached. Okay? They were outcoached. They were out-schemed by Jason Garrett, offensive coordinator of the Giants. I mean, look no further than that. He had the defense dazed and confused and had them boys out there looking stupid. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes, you go up against that coordinator, he's feeling it, he's hot, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he did a really good job at exploiting the Saints, deficiencies. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, he did a really good job. I want to say somebody said this, and I went back and took a look at it. It was like one play with Saquon Barkley when he ended up scoring a touchdown. It was the play before that. They ran that play to the opposite side. And, they seen that Marshawn Lattimore was kind of, looking in the backfield. They flipped the play around, and he did the same exact thing. Saquon got behind him, and next thing you know, he hitting his head on the goalpost. So stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You have to say you have to chunk that up to good coaching. So shouts out to Jason Garrett. People talk about him all the time, talking about how he was always on the sideline like this, and that's cool. But at the same time, he coached his ass off against the Saints. And I ain't gonna take it away from him. They were out coached in this game. The Washington football team has a top 5 defensive talent. I don't know if we'll score 21 on them. Just being honest. Look, they can't get pressure on you, but they have struggled. They have struggled over the last couple of weeks, and they have not been playing up to their potential. But some people will probably say, what's the greatest recipe for that? Well, let's go ahead and play the Saints, because I can remember for years oh, this team is struggling. Offensive line, they've been plugging and playing. They took this guy out, and they got this guy from the practice squad, and now he's playing. And then all of a sudden, we licking our chops like, oh, man, they offensive line. Boy, we about to eat today. And then they generate no sacks. It happened against the Raiders. It happened against the Philadelphia Eagles. It happened against the Giants. I mean, it happened against, the Carolina Panthers. Everybody talk about the offensive line. What is the greatest get back? Play against the Saints defensive line, because them boys ain't getting no pressure at all, okay? It was absolutely embarrassing watching these guys go up against the offensive line of the Giants. You would think that was the Great Wall of Dallas with Larry Allen and crew back in the day for the Cowboys or something. It was sad. It was almost like watching a 7-year-old child, try to, aggressively push a grown-ass man. That's what it looked like. Like, like you trying to push him and you try to give everything you have, and the grown man just sitting up there laughing at you, looking down at you like, man, this is just sad. That's what it looked like right there, okay? I'm serious, man. They need to find ways to get pressure. There's too many talented guys on the defensive line for them to get absolutely no pressure. I don't know what needs to go on, but they need to find something, man, because I'm tired of these mediocre, average offensive lines that the Saints go up against getting the best of this defensive line. It's sad. It's sad, man. When you got those type of veterans and you got that tall, length, wingspan on that, on that defensive line with guys like Payton Turner, who about 6'6", Tano Passanio about 6'7". When Davenport is here, he's 6'7". You know what I'm saying? All that length and wingspan, and you can't get past offensive line that's mediocre. Guys that probably were on the street a couple weeks ago, they plugging and playing, looking through the yellow pages trying to find offensive linemen. They put them out there and they getting the best of you. And yet you've been here since training camp, or you've been a part of this defensive scheme for years, and yet you can't get to the quarterback or try to get him off his spot. It was absolutely embarrassing watching Daniel Jones look like he was Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, or Steve Young. Back there in the pocket. I mean, literally, this dude can literally look through his progressions 3 and 4 times, which is absolutely embarrassing when you think about it. When you think about the talent that this team has on the defensive line. And this man yet was really under duress very little against a team that supposedly have a really good defensive line and a really good defense. Sorry. Slim Wall says the Washington football team, already read that one. Texas Saints says, I would love to see what your thoughts are on Alvin Kamara. Do you think he is performing at his full potential, or do you think he is playing a little conservative? I think that Alvin Kamara understands what he means to the team, okay? Do I think that Alvin Kamara quits on plays? What player don't? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. What player doesn't? But I think it's not because of what people think. I think he understands what he means to the team. If Alvin Kamara ends up getting hurt, then his team is really going to be behind the 8 ball, because he's such a special player and you don't have your other special offensive weapon in Michael Thomas. So he has to go out there and he has to preserve himself, okay, until the cavalry comes. So I'm not going to knock him for that, okay, because if Alvin Kamara is out of the game, if Alvin Kamara is just trying to read Twitter and listening to us talking about how he quit on plays and he run out of bounds when he feel like he under duress, then for him to go out here and try to prove, oh, I'm going to drop a shoulder, then mess around, separate his shoulder, end up breaking something, then we really going to have some problems. We really going to have some problems, because we had to go out here and look on the Jaguars practice squad to find Devon Azigbo, somebody that the Saints had, in training camp a couple of years ago. So Tony Jones Jr. is out. Okay, Latavius Murray is in Baltimore because you didn't want to pay him. You didn't feel like he was worth the money. Alvin Kamara needs to be here. And if Alvin Kamara isn't here, then we really going to have some problems, okay? So do I think he take plays off? What player doesn't? Do I think that he's doing it to preserve himself when I look at it, all things considered? Absolutely, okay? But do I feel like he leaves a lot to be desired? You can say that, but I'd rather him leave a lot to be desired and, instead of risking his health, because the Saints really need this dude. They need him. We may not want to hear that, but it's true. They need this dude, man. They need AK. If AK not playing, we're going to really have some problems. We're going to really be some slow singing and flower bringing, because ain't nobody going, they ain't going to have nobody offensively. Roderick, thank you very much for the $10. He says, sup, TJ? Payton has ticked me off past the point of positivity. Let's see. Sean got to start believing in Winston. I mean, Winston was in the zone, also were not utilizing AK as a receiver. Yeah, AK not getting any receptions in the last game is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely, positively ridiculous, the fact that this guy did not get any type of receptions in the game. Somebody that has wide receiver type hands. You had him running in between the tackles. He had more carries last game than he has in his entire career in one game. So you don't want to wear him down, okay? I hear some people talking about, oh, Alvin Kamara not that type of running back. Man, knock it the hell off, okay? Alvin Kamara is not as physically imposing as a Derrick Henry. He's not a battering ram like Josh Jacobs and Mark Ingram is, but the dude is so deceptively fast, and he can find a hole, you know what I'm saying, to run through, and he's extremely elusive, okay? So anybody that thinks that Alvin Kamara can't run in between the tackles, you're out of your mind, all right? You know what I'm saying? The Saints decided not to use him like that because they for the most part, they try to use him as a little bit of what they call a change of pace back, even though he was a starter. Change of pace back, the guy that catches the ball out of backfield, stretch and toss plays. And then you had guys like Mark Ingram and Latavius Murray to run up the gap, try to wear down the defense. But this guy is capable of doing all those things. I feel like him, Christian McCaffrey are the two guys in the NFL. I guess you can put Kareem Hunt in that category too, who can run in between the tackles and catch the ball out of backfield like a receiver. Just because you didn't see him do that consistently doesn't mean that he doesn't have the capability of doing it. But I do understand that the more touches that you get, there's more wear and tear on your body. You're leaving yourself susceptible to getting hurt. So I do understand that they need a downtick in some carries for AK. But I can't understand why they didn't try to run the ball out of throw the ball out of backfield, some screen plays. I don't know the answer to that. All I can say is maybe, the Saints feel like, okay, we're just going to be a running team, okay? And maybe, they just feel like because you have two eyes on Alvin Kamara trying to neutralize him, maybe it's not smart for us to try to run these screen plays, but at least not try to attempt to run one. That is pretty alarming to me. That is pretty alarming. So I don't know the answer to that, but I just know that he's very special catching the ball out of the backfield. Tyrone, also thank you very much for the $10 and being a supporter. He says, TJ, we'll see a better game in Washington with our bye coming up soon to fix the problems. I trust our head coach. Look, I trust Sean Payton too. I don't want anybody to get the indication that I don't. I'm just saying, watching him throughout the 15, 16 years he's been with the New Orleans Saints, he overthinks himself in certain situations. And I feel like he makes things harder than what they have to be sometimes. And, it's about trusting your gut. And, it's almost like, okay, we think about Super Bowl 44, them kicking that onside kick. Now, let's just say, for example, the Saints didn't get the ball back. Everybody in New Orleans would have been talking about how big of a moron Sean Payton actually is, right? Oh, you idiot, man. We already down, and now you're going to kick this onside kick, man, and now you're giving the ball Payton, man, in excellent field position, right? But hindsight is 2020. It actually worked. So all of a sudden, in the eyes of history, he's a genius, right? So I understand you have to trust your gut. And there's a fine line between genius and insanity. If, Aldrich Rojas, old slawtail, would have went out there and kicked that 58-yard field goal and made it, Sean would have looked like a genius. But because he missed it, we look at Aldrich Rojas, adiosas, we understand that he can't kick the back of a barn door. Look, he can't kick it at all. He can't kick a ball into a net right in front of it. We understand, okay, man, why did he put him out there when this guy has shown us that he can't kick, right? So I get it, man. There's a fine line between genius and insanity. But there are some times where I just feel like things don't need to happen the way that he puts it out there. Like the whole Jameis Winston pass thing. Like I really just don't understand it. I really don't understand what you actually see in Taysom Hill throwing deep balls down the field. I do not understand how can you possibly believe that Taysom Hill has this arm strength when I have seen on countless occasions, and dead serious, I've seen every deep pass Taysom Hill has thrown. When I edit that video, and that was me, by the way. I want everybody to understand that your boy got them skills. But when I was editing the video, I looked at every single deep pass that Taysom Hill threw. Every last one of them. Every last pass this dude threw, for the exception of one, it was a pass to Alvin Kamara, and it was supposed to be a touchdown, but of course it was called back because of Andrews Pete. Fill in the blank. But anyway, that was the only pass that he threw on a rope. And it wasn't really a deep pass. It probably, you know what I'm saying, traveled about 20 yards in distance or something like that. And Alvin Kamara just ran it into the end zone. That was the only pass that I seen that was deep down the field. You know what I'm saying? It was considered deep as a deep pass that hit the receiver in stride. That's it. You can go to that triple reverse in week 1 versus Tampa when, you know what I'm saying, instead, like when Alvin Kamara literally had to wait for the pass to get there and for him to make a move. Now imagine if he would have made that pass in stride. Who knows? Alvin Kamara probably would have scored, probably would have got more yards. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, folks. I'm just being real. What possessed him in the archives of history from every game time situation for you to put Taysom Hill in the game when he has shown you on multiple, not just one occasion or two, but on multiple occasions that throwing the ball down the field, he throws the ball short or is intercepted. I'm just saying, not trying to sound like a hater. I'm just being real. What possessed you to do that? It just didn't make any sense to me, especially when you just seen your starting quarterback throw a touchdown deep. Lex says, does his gut tell him that Taysom can throw the deep ball? Look, if it does, then I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell him. Taysom needs a different position. He shouldn't be quarterback too. He can play so many other positions. Pick it and flick it. Yeah, look, I don't want anybody to think that Taysom Hill, can't throw. All I'm saying is his deep balls are not that good. If you're asking him to throw an out route, he can do it. If you're asking him to throw, an angle route to a running back, he can do it. All I'm saying is when you're asking this dude to throw the ball down the field like he Mahomes or Vic or, Randall Cunningham or, somebody like that, like you're wasting your time, okay? Like you're wasting your time. He does not have that arm strength that most of those guys have. You know what I'm saying? Where you can actually hit a guy in stride on a rope. He just doesn't, okay? It looked like 50-50 ball, man. I'm telling you, it looked like a punt. It looked like he's actually literally punting. And whoever get the best position ain't going to end up getting the football. All I'm saying is if it wasn't for Michael Thomas, if it wasn't for Emmanuel Sanders, if it wasn't for Alvin Kamara, those deep passes and Deontay Harris, every last one of those passes that he threw that connected, the wide receiver made a better play than pass. Go back and take a look at it. Go back and take a look. If you feel like I'm criticizing, go back and take a look and tell me from Michael Thomas sliding to catch the pass, right? When he was behind defenders. When Deontay Harris had to literally turn his entire body around to catch the ball like a punt, return. Or Emmanuel Sanders literally breaking off his route to run back to the ball. Go back and take a look, man. That's all I'm saying. Anybody that think that this is just a Taysom Hill hating, bashing, podcast. It is definitely not. All I'm saying is you have to be real with yourself. You have to be realistic, okay? You have to be realistic. You have to understand that Jameis Winston in certain situations like that puts you in the best position to get the ball down the field and for your receivers to make plays. All right, but I want to talk a little bit, and feel free to put your comments down in the chat continuously about the Saints, but I do want to talk about this. This is probably the part of the show where some of you who don't think objectively probably going to exit stage left, but I really do not care. I feel like there's an issue in the NFL about, there's an issue when it comes to the black quarterback. I really do. I'm listening to Get Up this morning as I'm taking Paxton to daycare, listening to it. And the topic was Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields, we know that he was drafted to the Chicago Bears out of Ohio State. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist. We know that he was a really good quarterback when he was in college. He's a tough guy. He mustered, up enough strength, to play in a college football playoff with broken ribs and, bruised ribs. I don't know if they were broken or not, but he went out there and he gave it the old college try, no pun intended. and he played really, really well. But now he goes to the Chicago Bears, and head coach Matt Nagy is still insisting on saying that Andy Dalton is the quarterback. But you have members of the media who are keep on constantly saying, oh, this guy's not ready. This guy's not ready. Look how he's playing. This guy's not ready. And I just wonder, like, why is it that Justin Fields is constantly the topic of conversation, right? And why is it that they are so quick to dismiss this guy and making it seem like he is who he is? When you look at the Saints, right? People are criticizing Jameis Winston because of 2019, and they feel like this guy will never, be able to overcome that. And they're like, he is who he is. Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, right? You know what I'm saying? Had a really good game versus the Falcons, but who don't? I guess, touche. But for having him, you know what I'm saying, and Carson Wentz in a little bit of a quarterback competition. So that showed me that Howie Roseman probably wanted him. Maybe somebody else didn't want him. And now all of a sudden, Justin Fields not the answer. The Eagles need to make a trade for this quarterback and that quarterback. Meanwhile, you don't really hear this type of stuff when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, who has yet to win a football game and whose coach is getting found grinding, letting women grind on him in a club. And you also have Zach Wilson, who threw 4 interceptions against the New England Patriots. Or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it was the New England Patriots. But anyway, all I'm saying is this. When I hear the narrative about Trevor Lawrence, when I hear the narrative about Zach Wilson, I'm hearing, these guys, they just need to battle through. They need to just figure it out. They don't have this offensive line. They don't have these playmakers. But when it comes to Justin Fields, who only has Allen Robinson, to be honest, and they just made a trade, you know what I'm saying, for a wide receiver to come in, you know what I'm saying, in the form of Calvary. You know what I'm saying, he don't understand the playbook. He doesn't grasp the concept. So how is it that Justin Fields, who actually won a game this past weekend and played pretty good, but then you had Zach Wilson, who won a game, I'll give him that, but he threw 4 interceptions. He was, you know what I'm saying, under duress. He was running out of the pocket. He was overthrowing guys against Carolina. I watched that game. And then you had Trevor Lawrence, who comes out before the draft and says football isn't everything. Now think about this, right? Think about if Justin Fields would have made that comment. Football isn't anything. He would not have been a first-round pick. Probably would have been a second or third-round pick because the narrative would have been he's not all in. He's not all in. And then you heard about some type of condition or something like that he had, and people were trying to amplify that, trying to make it seem like, it might be an issue down the line. But Trevor Lawrence, the first overall pick, basically told you that football isn't everything. Tell me that there's not a discrepancy going on here. Tell me that y'all do not see this. When it comes to the black quarterback, if they don't find success when they get off the turnip truck, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, from the gate, then, they're not good enough, man. Can they weather the storm? Or what's going on here? But when it comes to some of these white quarterbacks, why are they getting the benefit of the doubt? Why is Adam Gase's fault in for the Jets, right, that Sam Darnold struggled, but it's not a problem when Jameis Winston had 3-4 coaches, you know what I'm saying, a part of the Tampa Bay organization when he was the quarterback? Somebody explain that to me. How is it that Jalen Hurts can't go through the motions, right? But you have these other quarterbacks out here who struggled, you know what I'm saying, their first couple years in order for them to figure it out. Baker Mayfield, you know what I'm saying, threw a lot of interceptions his rookie season. Second season, not really terrible. But to a point, people were criticizing him doing all those progressive commercials. Or whatever commercial he's doing, I don't know. But anyway, those insurance commercials. Everybody was talking about him doing that. Maybe it was an issue. But all of a sudden, no, that ain't it. You still got people out here. Man, he gonna figure it out. He gonna figure it out. But Jalen Hurts, his first year as a full starter, he has to automatically figure this out. With a brand new coach, by the way, a head coach that nobody ever really heard of before he actually became a head coach. Somebody tell me that there's not an issue here. Somebody tell me that there's not a narrative going around here that that is being pushed by some members of the sports media. I see that people are getting the benefit of the doubt. I don't care what anybody says. Trevor Lawrence was playing like slaw before Urban Meyer was found in the club with a woman dancing on him. But was anybody really saying anything about that? No, because it's the Jaguars and they were the first pick overall. Well, the Chicago Bears weren't very good last season. Yeah, they made the playoffs, but I mean, they were not a good football team. There's a chance that their coach is not going to even make it to the end of the season. But so why is it that you got a brand new coach in Robert Saleh? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have like all this money for the Jets, new quarterback. You're going to spend all this money on a wide receiver room. Why is it that Zach Wilson gets the benefit of the doubt, but then Justin Fields, he has to come out there playing lights out? There's a problem going on in sports. How black athletes, black quarterbacks have to be good from the jump. From the jump. There's really no room for these guys to really fail or go through the motions. Because if they do, then they're already ready to call these guys bust, already ready to call these guys backups, already ready to call these guys losers, and you can't win with them. I really don't understand. Like, how can you possibly come to this conclusion with Jalen Hurts? Like, seriously, there's a lot of people that do not want this dude here. Got to. You don't have to convince me. If you feel like Jalen Hurts was the guy, you're not going to make a trade with the Jaguars to bring in Gardner Minshew, a guy who has been a starter, a guy with the narrative, oh, if he's in the right system, you can win with him. You're not going to put that guy on your team to be a distraction and for Jalen Hurts to have eyes in the back of his head. That is not trust. And it goes way before just putting a C on your chest. What is that? What is that? That's means you were elected by your peers, your teammates, not the coaching staff. So anybody that don't see that, they just don't want to see it. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Because it's a problem. It's a problem, man. How is it that Jalen Hurts? Seriously, how is it that Jalen Hurts, man, first year as a starter, first 4 years as a starter, people already writing this man off. Justin Fields, oh, he not good enough yet. He ain't ready. Oh, you know, but he needs to sit on the sidelines and learn. But Zach Wilson, by the way, I mean, he has to go through the motion. He has to figure it out. How is it that when the Saints are playing the New England Patriots, you got people like Mark Schlereth? Every time Jameis Winston tries to make a play, make something happen with his legs. See, what you have to do is, why don't you just throw it out of bounds? Why don't you just throw it to the side? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you just throw it away? All of a sudden, Mac Jones does the same play a couple plays later. Then all of a sudden, he's just trying to make something happen. He's very limited right now. He really doesn't have the guy. He has to figure it out. He has to figure it out. But Jameis Winston has to throw it away, because if he doesn't throw it away, then, man, he's a terrible quarterback. This is the reason why he's a terrible quarterback. He needs to throw it away. But Mac Jones trying to make something happen with his legs because there's nobody around him to make a play. I can make an argument that the New England Patriots with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry and Myers and Bourne and all those other guys got a better, more formidable wide receiver corps than what Jameis is dealing with. But, of course, the narrative is Jameis Winston is an interception waiting to happen, a turnover waiting to happen, and there's no fixing this guy. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. If you don't see that, go take a look. Go take a look. Exactly, Google Mini. Something is not right. Something is not right. Even Google Mini. My Google Mini in my office saying something's not right, because it's not right. Read some of your comments, man, then we'll move on. Backup, they don't get a second chance like some of these other ones. Exactly, they don't. If they don't play well right away, they automatically going to be career backups. They're not going to really get those. They're not going to get too many second chances. They're not. They're not going to get too many second chances. If you come in and you playing good right away, they might be able to deal with you for a couple of years. I mean, you can even look at Robert Griffin III. People can talk about him all they want to, but the dude, you like, honestly, you do not be an offensive rookie of the year and not possess some type of talent. You just don't, man. You just don't. But there was some narrative. Oh, he wanted to become more of a pocket passer. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, man? Why the man wants to preserve his body? He don't want to feel like he has to run all the time. And he wants to sit back there and try to become a better pocket passer. What's wrong with that? Oh, he's being defiant. Oh, he's trying to be stubborn. Oh, his dad is too involved with the organization. Oh, he riding to the game with Bill Snyder. Here's a problem. His teammates looking at him sideways. I mean, come on, man. Vince Young. Let's go back to Vince Young. People talking about, oh, man, Vince Young, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't focused. But people ain't looking at Jeff Fisher, old terrible tale, who is Mr. 7 and 9 every single year for the Tennessee Titans. But nobody ever questioned Jeff Fisher because he's head of the officiating committee and he's well respected in the circles of the NFL. And he just so happened to find a very special quarterback in Steve McNair, may he rest in peace, to make him better as a coach than he actually is. But nobody ever questioned this guy. Nobody ever questioned, you know what I'm saying, why is it that his teams are constantly going 7 and 9 no matter who the quarterback is? Nah, it's not his fault. It's Vince Young's fault. I mean, I can go on, man. I can go on. I can go on. TJ, that's just the way things going always be. We got to build our own and separate. Well, look, man, I ain't on no Marcus Garvey type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be on no back to Africa type stuff here. All I'm saying is there's a disconnect. There is a lot of people that are culturally clueless, and there's still this good old boy system that still lurks its ugly head. Okay, it really is, man. And you got these guys on television, man, like demeaning and downgrading these cats, man. Like that ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. I'm serious, man. Like, can you, like, seriously, your first pick overall in Trevor Lawrence, go back and look. This man literally said, okay, football isn't everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important, but it ain't everything. Imagine, like, think about this. If Justin Fields was the surefire first pick overall and he said something like that, there's not a GM or organization that wouldn't be sitting up there looking at that man sideways. I'm serious. There wouldn't be a GM or organization looking at this man sideways. Trevor Lawrence says, and nobody says anything about it. But you have like some type of condition, some type of private condition, supposedly Justin Fields has, and it can hurt him in the long run. Talking about his family and stuff like that. It might hurt him and hinder him. Like, knock it off. Knock it off, man. Yes, TJ, you're speaking the truth. They have to be perfect. It sucks. That's the narrative. That's just the way things are already. Read that one. You're not lying, dude. Lost, and they still say he outplayed Brady. Why are you comparing Wilson Fields rookies to a vet like Winston? I'm not. I'm comparing based on a narrative. Okay. I need you to understand this. I need you to fully understand what I am saying. I'm saying when there's a narrative that is created 9 times out of 10 for black quarterbacks, it is hard for them to shake it. It is hard for them to shake it. Like they are forever going to be that. They are forever going to be looked at as that. You still have people out here right now. Jameis Winston, Mr. 30 for 30, 30 for 30. Jameis Winston, not a good quarterback. Jameis Winston has 8 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 109. Okay? One of the, you know what I'm saying, if not the best in the NFL. You know what they'll say? Now, think about this. If Aaron Rodgers had something like that, or some of these other quarterbacks, Oh, they playing good football. They're playing smart football, right? But instead of them looking at him making better decisions, you know what I'm saying? What are they saying? Oh, he ain't throwing the ball enough. He ain't throwing the ball enough. Well, if you got 21, 22 opportunities to throw the football and they're not leading to interceptions and turnovers, then guess what? Your job, you know what I'm saying, as of right now, is to make sure that the ball gets down the field into the right hands of your players. That is what it's supposed to be all about. But instead, you're still trying to find ways to downgrade the dude. Right? I mean, a quarterback, you know what I'm saying, like they can throw 4 touchdowns, he have 3 interceptions. But all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they'll hide that. They'll hide 3 interceptions, but they'll say, he had 4 touchdowns today. All I'm saying is, man, look, there's a problem going on here. There's a problem. It is hard for these quarterbacks to shake the narrative of what the national media puts on them. And we do a good job at some of us. Some of us do. We do a good job pushing the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like the sheep that we are sometimes. Not everybody. I'm not talking about everybody. But there's some sheep out there. Bad sheep that follow everything that the media tells them. They don't do the research. They don't go and look. They don't watch the games. All they do is listen to these talking heads talking loud and crazy and being animated and sipping tea in the middle of conversations, trying to give you all some type of level of entertainment to make you laugh and smile. And then you go to your barbershops or you go to your neighborhoods or you go tell your next door neighbor that you talk about football a lot, and you push these narratives that these people tell you without watching a damn game or doing any type of damn research. So you are just, not everybody, I want to make that clear, but you are just as responsible as some of these talking heads who don't look at the game them damn selves, who listen to their interns who burn the midnight oil to come up with doing stuff like analytics and research and give it to them to make them sound like prophets. All I'm saying is this: we need to start paying attention to the games. We need to start watching why is this guy making this decision. We need to understand what is really going on within these organizations before we come to these conclusions about these guys, because what they do is they run with these narratives, because guess what? They know that you're going to believe everything that they say because you trust them. And some people, when you give them a level of trust, they don't know what to do with it, or they use it for their own nefarious gain. But there's a narrative going on. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you don't like what I'm saying, too bad, but it's a fact. Don't take my word for it. Go look at it yourself. For those that getting mad or want to, you know what I'm saying, have these type of, get mad every time these type of conversations show up. Like, go do your research, man. Go do your research and see for your own self. If you don't want to come to that conclusion and find it out, that's your problem. These TJ, these people, they tell these narratives are from a old time where blacks can't do anything, just my opinion. All I'm saying is this: the world is changing. You see people, you know what I'm saying, out here like really changing the way that they look at race, sexual orientation and stuff. But you still have those individuals out here that are in positions of power that still have that good old boy type system. You still have guys out here who feel like quarterbacks, the quarterback position is a thank you position, and feel like black quarterbacks are inferior. You know what I'm saying? Inferior, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to decision making. They feel like they have to so-called dumb down the system in order for them to succeed. Because I have to make this playbook. What they say, they say I gotta dumb down the playbook. Or, you know what I'm saying? They don't call it dumbing down. They say we gotta thin the playbook. You might as well just say you're dumbing down a playbook. Or, you know what I'm saying, that quarterback isn't smart enough to absorb this type of information. You know, why is it that these other quarterbacks, give them the yellow pages, they'll be able to skim through it and they'll be able to understand everything that's going on in these yellow pages. But I'm going to give this guy, a magazine, right? I'm going to give him a magazine full of plays. I'm going to give him a highlights magazine of plays, right? I'm going to give him a coloring book full of plays. Okay, and these are the plays that we're going to kind of run. We're going to simplify the game plan. Man, knock it off. Knock it off, man. Jameis definitely getting a bad rep from the media. He's not the reason we lost those 2 games. Love nothing more than for him to get better and succeed. Hopefully shut up the national media folks. Look, at this particular point, the media is going to be who they are. They're going to look. You got Jason McIntyre, who is now resting his head on, his takes on Jameis Winston. So guess what? He knows that talking about Jameis Winston is going to give him the most clicks, and it's also going to give him the most attention that he probably going to ever get as a media person. So guess what? Like Skip Bayless, like Stephen A. Smith with the Cowboys, like Skip Bayless with LeBron James and, the Lakers and being, anti-Aaron Rodgers. They know what their shtick is. They know what people are going to look for them when it comes to. So they're going to rest their hat on that. So yes, there's nothing Jameis in this regard can do about it. All he can do is go out there and play the best that he possibly can and allow these people to look like absolute idiots. Okay. But I mean, you cannot worry about what the media, is saying about you as an athlete. Because I look, this is anybody that has a problem with Jameis, I think you need to understand this is a testament to how good, this dude is mentally. Because some of the stuff that people have said about this guy, the way they laugh at this dude, the way they ridicule this dude, any other quarterback out here would have folded like a cheap tent and basically just hid under a rock somewhere and said, you know what? I can't do this. Or it really would affect the way that they play the game. The fact that this dude can get behind a mic and speak with such confidence, the way that he can go out here and walk and move with this level of belief in himself is a testament to how this dude is mentally. So I don't know who his team is. I don't know what he actually does, but kudos to him. Because if you are a quarterback that has got that much scrutiny, there's not many quarterbacks that can be able to bounce back from that if you're not mentally capable of doing that. The media have their picks and chooses. They break down and hate most and never speak down on who they love. They are very, very one-sided. Well, look, you're not going to speak down on stuff that you feel like people want to hear. Like you'll probably bring one talking head that criticizes Tom Brady, right? If they want to criticize Tom Brady, who they bring in? They bring in Rob Parker, right? Shouts out to Rob Parker. I like Rob. Rob is like one of my favorite media people, because he's such a smart guy. But he has this take on Tom Brady, right? But you're not going to bring a bunch of talking heads to talk about Tom Brady because for the most part, people love Tom Brady. People like him, right? Patrick Mahomes, you're not going to find a bunch of people like criticizing Patrick Mahomes, so you'll probably find one talking head. If you constantly just talk down on these people, people would just start to tune out because we live in a society today where people love to hear things they care about. They love hearing about things that they care about, and they love hearing positive things about things that they care about. They don't want to hear anything negative. It's like talking about my mama. I don't want to hear that. You better not talk about my mama. And I know my mama in the chat because apparently Jerry giving her a shout out. You're not going to talk about my mama, right? You're not. You're not going to do it because that's who I love. That's who I'm going to war for. You're not going to talk about my wife. You're not going to talk about Pac-Man. You're not going to talk about any of those people. If I hear you say something negative about that, man, we're going to have a problem. So the point is, they're not going to go out here and criticize these folks because those are the media, those are the ratings makers. You're not going to downgrade Patrick Mahomes' performance and how bad he's been playing this season compared to the other seasons he's played. You're not going to talk about him and criticize him that much. You're going to elevate it. You're going to show him throwing those magical passes that nobody can throw, him no looking it, because that is what people want to see. You're going to talk about Tom Brady and how he finally ran for a first down and he got on the ground smiling because that's what people want to see. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, folks, but there are picks and chooses just like what was alluded to. There are picks and chooses. Stefan Gilmore gets cut by the Patriots. I'm not watching, but listening to Get Up. Well, where does Stefan Gilmore needs to go? Tampa. Doesn't Tampa already have an embarrassment of riches? What about the Chiefs? They're struggling defensively. What about the Green Bay Packers? Jair Alexander been banged up. What about the Cowboys? Huh? You're looking at all these different teams that's out here right now, but those are the teams that you're going to bring up because those are the segments that everybody talk about. They talk about the Packers. They talk about the Cowboys. Come on, man. We need to understand what they're trying to do here, and we need to be able to do our own research for us to fully understand, is this person really worth talking about, ridiculing, or am I basically being a pawn. Some of us are being pawns, man. For real. Checkmate. TJ, I commented, you, my brother, you stayed professional and tried to keep it straight about the sports, but some stuff stands out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Look, I try to keep, look, I'm not a person, I ain't trying to hide from nothing, okay? I'm sorry. You know, I'm not one to, look, I don't want anybody to think, oh, that TJ trying to kick up some race stuff and all that. Look, I'm telling you what it is, all right? I wish I could, you know what I'm saying, be one. Look, no, I don't. I would never be one of those people that just go along to get along. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna love me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? If I'm not the type of person of your quiet taste, that's fine. But I'm not gonna hide behind a rock. You know what I'm saying? Because, oh man, I want people to come back next time. Look, if you on some BS, I'm gonna call you out, because I will want you to call me out if I'm on some BS. Seriously. So I ain't trying to like go along and get along. I can care less. If you said some messed up stuff, I don't agree with what you said, I'm going to say it. And if that means, oh, if I'm reaching out and I would like to get your take on the show, I want to come on there. Well, whatever. Because, you know, some people want you to sing their praises and hype them up and say all these things. Oh, I love him. And, oh, it wasn't his fault. Oh, that wasn't a crazy idea. Knock it off. Okay, knock it off. We're living in a real world. We deal with real situations. Sports is our getaway. But what happens when the real world and real issues trickle into something that we love? Are we supposed to ignore that? Well, you're a fool if you do that. I love my house, but I'm not going to stay in here if this thing on fire. I'm going to get the hell out of here. If the real world trickles into something that we love, we have to address it. If I'm in a house and the fire is small, I can stand there and say, oh, my house is on fire. What I'm going to do? What I'm going to do? I can wait for it to spread throughout the room, or I can go and grab some water and try to douse that thing out. I can deal with the situation right then and there, so it won't, you know what I'm saying, be a bigger issue down the line. But as soon as we come to this and understand that these type of issues, they come up, they happen, and there's nothing we can do about it, the better we are as people. Period. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. La, 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 whatever. Okay. Hide behind a rock and feel like these situations don't happen. That's fine. But you're playing yourself. Black quarterbacks has to play MVP level, or we out of the league. When a white quarterback can play 20 years and be average. Well, I will say this though. There's a higher percentage. Okay, I want to make this fair. Okay, I want to make this fair. There's a higher percentage of white quarterbacks in the league. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So I want to make that perfectly clear. So the chances of them playing longer than a black quarterback is, you know what I'm saying, is very high because there are more of them. Okay, my whole take on the situation, and I do agree with what you're saying, is the narrative that creates. You know what I'm saying? Like the narrative that is created by the media, by some of these talking heads, stuff that people cannot shake, right? And they automatically make that said quarterback guilty in a court of public opinion. And when you're guilty in a court of public opinion, it is hard for you to shake that. It is like a person that goes to trial and the trial is amplified and it's on TV and it's watched around the country and around the world, and that person gets off. Guess what? When that person walks off, man, they did it. You still gonna have people still believing in their heart that they did it. They did that. They are who they said they is. They might have got off, but they did it. So it's just like the same thing with these quarterbacks. They put that narrative out there. They can play good, man, but it's only a matter of time before they start playing bad again, right? It can never be like, oh, they turned the corner, or it can never be that. It can never be that, man. So, yeah, there is a narrative, okay? But I do want to make that clear. When you have a higher percentage of something, you know, when it comes to nationality, of course, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have a higher percentage, okay? Because you're really just starting to see a huge, well, I won't say huge, but a nice sample size of black quarterbacks in the league. Enough for us to, I'll say probably in the next 10 years, we will really be able to assess that analytic. You know what I'm saying? Like we can really be able to sit down and look at those analytics and be like, you know what? Okay, and still see if they have a problem. Now, if a couple years when you start to see other minorities, black quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, like Hispanic quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, coming into the league, and when you start to see that and we still having these same issues, that's when I would be like, you know what, man, we need to maybe do something about that. But right now, before I move on and I take a few final questions, I want to thank the sponsors of the State of the Saints podcast. First off, the official sponsor, which is manscaped.com, the leader in male grooming. Their 4th generation performance package absolutely changed the grooming game, along with their refined body wash to round out your hygiene routine. So join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped for their shower time routine by going to manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints, okay? All one word, State of Saints. You will save 20% off of the Manscaped body wash. And also, I want to give a special shout out to CDCX, okay? Want to give a special shout out to them, one of the sponsors of the State of the Saints podcast as well. Been working with them for the last couple of weeks. A good, solid company right here. Want to say thank you to them. CBDX.com. It's not your average CBD company. We've all tried CBD. Well, some of us probably have, but none of it is like the real deal. CBDX is the real deal. And CBDX.com ships right in front of your door right now. So the listeners of the State of the Saints podcast can also save 20% off with CBDX.com by using the promo code SOS. So shout out to CBDX. Great guys right there, man. Y'all check out it. Check out their products, and also manscaped.com with the body wash. All right. So I'm gonna read a few more comments, and then we can go ahead and get up out of here. May also be the team they are playing for, because I don't remember hearing bad about Dak. Oh man, what? Are you what? Nah, Larry. Look, Larry, you my guy. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Larry. Larry been holding it down for State of the Saints podcast for years. But Larry, I got to school you on this, man. I got to. Dak Prescott just started, you know what I'm saying, he just started to like really start to get the respect that he deserved. When Dak Prescott was throwing for 5,000 yards like Jameis Winston, the narrative was, oh, he put his team in a hole. Now, let's backtrack this for a second. Let's go to Andrew Luck's rookie year, right? When he was throwing interceptions all over the place. Bruce Arians was his quarterback whisperer, by the way. But all of a sudden, the late game heroics against the Chiefs in the playoffs, Andrew Luck is everything we thought he was. He's everything he thought he was. Now, keep in mind that Andrew Luck had about 3 turnovers in the first half, putting his team behind an 8 ball. But then all of a sudden, I guess he realized he was Andrew Luck, and he musters a comeback, right? Dak Prescott can do the same thing against the Falcons. The narrative was he put the team in a hole. Oh, that's the reason why Jerry Jones don't want to pay him. That's the reason why he don't want to pay Dak. He don't want to pay him. Dak is not, you know what I'm saying? He's not worth $40 million. He's not worth all that money. Then he gets hurt. Then all of a sudden he gets hurt and have that gruesome injury. And everybody, oh man, I feel so bad for him. And he just got this, he just got this franchise tag. We don't know if Jerry Jones gonna pay him, right? But everybody applauded Jerry Jones for signing Andy Dalton and giving Dak, you know what I'm saying, a franchise tag, because they felt like he wasn't the guy. But then when Dak gets paid and Dak balls out, well, I knew it was he had it in him the whole time. No. Dak Prescott was never that guy that everybody looked at. They criticized this dude just like they criticized everybody else. The only difference is this season, you ain't got much to criticize. But they didn't want, they said Jerry Jones shouldn't pay him. They said Jerry Jones is a shrewd and smart businessman for signing Andy Dalton when you're having contract issues with Dak. So no, that is what we do, man, sometimes. And Larry, I'm not accusing you of this, but we always look at the finished product. We always look at the book. We don't look at what led to the great story. We don't look at the introduction of the book. We look at the end. We don't look at the whole entire story. We're looking at Dak Prescott right now playing in MVP form, and all of a sudden, none of that stuff was said about him. No. I am not going to let that slide. They've been talking about that man. They even questioned that man getting a big-time contract and him living up to those expectations. They were not on board with Dak Prescott this whole entire time. And I'm glad that Dak is balling out. And I'm glad that he's doing this thing out there. Wish he was doing it for somebody else because I hate the Cowboys, but the brother is out there balling. But it took a long time for people to look at this dude and respect him as a quarterback in the National Football League. Nah, bruh. No. They do not want a black quarterback to be leader. Think about it. They can play any position on the field, and they will be okay with it. Quarterback, they don't like it because quarterback is the number one spot. Yeah. I mean, look, you remember when Cam Newton went to Carolina Panthers, and at the time, the owner of the Panthers asked him, was he ever gonna get some tattoos? Like stuff like that. Like, come on, man. And asking, Dez Bryant, I mean, he's not a quarterback, but asking Dez Bryant about his family and stuff like that, and asking him all these different personal things about his mama. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, at least we will get a lottery pick in the draft. Who getting a lottery pick? The Saints? Nah, Saints ain't getting no lottery pick. That's true. It took him getting hurt to get paid. Exactly. And the thing about it is, I'm gonna just be real, and I could be way out in left field, but I really feel like his injury guilted Jerry Jones into paying him. I'm serious. Like, I wonder if Dak would have played out last season, would they have paid that man? But if Jerry Jones didn't pay him and he had that gruesome injury, it would make him look like the biggest a-hole in football history. Like, seriously. So I think that Jerry Jones is one of those people that care a lot about what people think about him, regardless of what anybody says. He cares, okay? This whole moniker, that he has, Jerry is always, close-knit with his players. His players love Jerry, past and present. He couldn't have that on him, man, because he liked being liked. He loved being liked. And that would make him look like the biggest a-hole if he didn't pay that man. Me too. And they have a ton of weapons, so they will be good all season probably. Yeah. And not to mention they got a really softball schedule. Hey, TJ, do you think the football team can use the Giants blueprint to beat us? Yeah. I see a lot of similarities. And don't get it twisted, man. The football team, they lost some games, but they were always in every single game. So anybody just think and look at their record and think that the Saints are going to have an easy out or, it's going to be easy for them to bounce back. Think again. Like, the Washington football team are a powerful bunch. And I got a hell of a lot of respect for Ron Rivera as a head coach. So I'm just being real. Like, if you think that the Saints are just, they're just going to go up at the FedEx Field and bounce back. No. Hey, T, already read that one. But Damien, I don't look. It's going to be tough, man. Patriots traded Stefan Gilmore to the Panthers for a 2023 6th-round pick. Have you heard about this, TJ? I thought he got released. Wait a minute. Let me see. Are we talking about CJ Henderson? Are we talking about CJ Henderson? Or are we talking about Stefan Gilmore? Let me see this. I don't know how accurate this is. From what I heard, okay. Let's see. They said the Panthers acquire cornerback Gilmore. Okay, so this must have just happened. Okay, they traded him to the Carolina Panthers. Okay. I thought he got released, but yeah, that's according to ESPN. No, I didn't hear about this. I mean, it happened 23 minutes ago. So I was doing a podcast at the time. Yeah, but Stefan Gilmore, going to the Carolina Panthers, man, I gotta tell you, they looking really formidable, man. You got Stefan Gilmore, you got CJ Henderson, you got Dante Jackson, and then you got JC Horn when they get back. Man, Carolina, they trying to go for it, man. So I ain't mad at them, but it's smart. You know what I'm saying? It's smart. I mean, you have all these guys on these rookie deals. You combine that with some free agents. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, they're gonna be a tough out, man. They're gonna be a tough out. So we'll see. We'll see, man. But I got a lot of respect for them, man. They making some moves out there in Carolina. We may not like it because they are rivals, but they definitely doing the damn thing. We can't let an XFL quarterback beat us. Man, Taylor Heineke, he be balling, man. He got his moments. He got his moments. Yeah, they are scary. Yeah, man. I mean, look, they didn't have all that going on, and they still was out there, you know what I'm saying, getting picks and dominating the Saints. So, yeah. Too late, TJ. Jerry Jones is one of the biggest a-holes, period. Yeah, to fans, but in the eyes of the media, he's well protected. He falls into that category is all publicity is good publicity. So it don't bother him being talked about, you know what I'm saying, because he's always on the lips of everybody. His teams are always on primetime television, win, lose, or draw. So he wins. You know what I'm saying? He wins. And I'm going to finish that up with a few more. Let's see. Just had a school shooting by my house. That's why I was just telling y'all stay safe. Sad, man. Hope everybody's safe out there, man. Hope everybody's safe. Man, man, so much going on. Jalen got released, I heard. Yeah, Jalen Smith got released. I would like him to play for the Saints. I'm being dead serious. Now, people are talking about, the Saints got, a deep linebacking core. Yeah, that's true. They do. But how many of those dudes that you can count on to stay healthy all year long? Okay, I mean, look, I like Quan Alexander just like everybody else, but the dude always hurt, okay? I you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about Zach Bond. We thought that he was going to look good when we seen that game versus the Baltimore Ravens. We found out that he is a liability in coverage. If it ain't for, like, Pete Warner, who just got here 2 weeks ago, and Demario Davis, a guy who is always out there, I feel like Jalen Smith will be good, okay? Because Caden Ellis, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He batted a ball up that turned into an interception, but I don't really trust him in coverage. You know what I'm saying? Demario Davis, I trust in coverage, but I still feel like he's getting up there in age. I feel like Jalen Smith is a guy who can run. You can put him in coverage, and he's a good tackler. So when he does come back, you can put Zach Bond on the special teams where he belongs. Caden Ellis, you can have him rotating with Pete Werner. So you'll have Quan, Demario Davis, Pete Warner, and Jalen Smith. And I think that would be a really good starting linebacker group right there that you can rotate. And I think that is a huge chance that he can possibly sign with the Saints because of Chris Richard. Chris Richard was the assistant defensive coordinator when he and Leighton Vander Esch had some of their best seasons as linebackers. So it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up going to the Saints. I think it would be a good idea. That boy, P. Warner, looked good, man. Brian, you might want to hold that because we all know right now, everybody, P. Warner the truth. Let this man turn around and have a bad game or get beaten covered. Man, the Saints draft pick, man, they suck. They suck, man. You see how he got beat? He tackled everybody else, but you seen what happened when that tight end got behind him? He sucked. Yeah, just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Because don't nobody change their mind like a Saints fan. My goodness, we go from Paulson to Debo has a lot of promise to this dude is just slow. Okay, he's awful. Get him out of my face. So stay tuned. Okay, P. Warner, yeah, he balling right now. It's 2 games, right? 2 games. It's 2 games. But let that man go out here and have a rough game against the football team. Man, we ain't got nobody, man. Who was in the front office when they drafted these guys? Like, man, if you don't come off the turnip truck being lights out when the Saints draft you, no matter what your position is, you can be a 7th round pick. If you don't come off the truck out there making plays and looking like Ray Lewis, Stefan Gilmore, Darrell Reeves, Jalen Ramsey, man, my goodness, you can't play. Boy, you let 1 pass get past you. Don't let 2. Oh, my goodness. If you let 2 passes get you, oh, my God, man. My freaking goodness. Like, seriously. Don't let 2. Like, you let 2 passes get past you as a Saints fan? Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. You are at a point of no return, boy. You can be out there for 70 snaps, right? If you shut it down 68 snaps, You let 69 and 70 get. Oh my goodness, boy, you terrible. Boy, you suck. Boy, you suck. Boy, I want to know how some people evaluate football. Like, I'm serious. I want to know how people evaluate football. Do y'all just think that the Saints are the only team that pays guys? Like, I'm serious. Do some of you think that the Saints are the only team that pays guys? Do y'all think that those wide receivers that those other teams pay aren't paid to catch passes, or some of the elitists of the elite? I mean, do you not believe that? I mean, I don't understand it, man. Like, I don't understand, like if you ain't Revis, if you ain't prime Richard Sherman, if you ain't Jalen Ramsey, you ain't nothing, man. Like, if you let any pass in your area get caught, then you can't play cornerback. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like, how do some of y'all evaluate football? Like, how do y'all do it? I mean, how do y'all do it? Like, seriously, how do y'all evaluate football? I really don't understand, man. Not everybody, but some of y'all. Like, quarterback, back to pass, throws the ball 5 yards, tackle by Marshawn Lattimore. Man, Marshawn Lattimore, I thought he was locked down. Paulson and Debo, it goes quarterback, back to pass. Pass caught 7 yards, tackled by Paulson and Debo. Man, we need to get rid of him. Man, no, bro, they ain't it, bro. Demario Davis makes the tackle. Demario Davis made the tackle. Running back, brace the tackle on Demario Davis. Man, Demario Davis lost a step, man. What's wrong with him, man? What's wrong with him? What happened? What happened to him? Huh? What happened to him? You know? What happened to him? Quarterback, back to pass. He looks, he throws the progression. Cam Jordan gets him out of his spot, throws the ball out of bounds. Once again, quarterback throws, rolls to the right. Cam Jordan is rushing him down, throws the ball out of bounds. Back to pass, quarterback throws the pass. Man, Cam Jordan, he lost step, man. He's slow. He washed, man. I don't know what's going on with him, man. You don't even get to the quarterback no more. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that checked out the State of the Game podcast. I'm gonna make sure that I do at least one State of the Game podcast a week, man. So y'all want to subscribe to that channel. YouTube.com, search The State of the Game. Is also available on Facebook. So we're going to be doing a weekly show, because Damian always criticize. I don't say he criticized, but Damian always hold me to that. But anyway, man, the State of the Game is we're going to have a one show a week talking about some of the hottest topics in the NFL. Also, I want to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much for making the show what it is. If this is your first time checking out the State of the Saints, hopefully it won't be your last. We have a good show here, man. We have several guests that come through the spot. We have interviewed some of the best and brightest in sports, Saints sports, national sports. You can get all the information right here on the State of the Saints podcast. Keep it locked right here in the future. Special shout out to manscaped.com, CBDX. Special shout out to them. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Hope everybody has a good day. Hope everybody loves somebody, show somebody some love, calm the hell down, relax. We're going to be all right. We're on to Cincinnati. In this case, we're on to Washington. And I'll keep it locked right here to the State of the Saints podcast for all your information leading up to the Week 5 game. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?